I realize that if I use this as my affirmation every morning, it will change a lot for me. And hence, I thought of playing this with for this live with all of you. So, a very good morning. How are you all doing? I hope you all are well. And I seriously hope you all are doing fantastic. We are back with our book reading, Jack Canfield's Success Principles. We finished reading first two chapters of this book, and today we are on chapter 3. Now, usually before I do the book reading, I glance through the chapter and I do read it with you, but I also read it with myself. And there are some points which I like to highlight. So if you have this book with you, I would say get it along, read along. If you don't, please buy. This is a beautiful book, and if you are someone who loves to read, this is indeed a great book to start with. So let's begin with chapter 3. I'm just going to say hi to everyone who's joined live. We are simultaneously streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. So wherever you are, I would like to say a very good morning. And I hope this book, this video makes you read the book and this book changes your life. It takes one choice to change your life. And I hope this is that choice. Reading this book is free, as in watching this video is free. So please do it. So chapter 3 is Decide What You Want. We are reading the Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And I have the signed copy by author. So I'm flaunting it every time I go live. What's the title of chapter 3? The title of chapter 3 is Decide What You Want. How powerful is this? And before that, let me ask you, how many of you feel that you have a choice? And how many of you feel that you don't have a choice? Like many people tell me that it's very easy for you to say, choose what you want. You have choice, I don't. All of us are born with choices. All of us have choices all the time. How many of us execute those choices? Because we have made ourselves believe in a lie that we don't have a choice. But the truth is, we have choices. We are just afraid to make those choices because it might upset other people. You might receive judgments. You might be judged as a bad person. You might be judged as selfish. These are the reasons why you don't make a choice. And some of you might say, okay, I would rather not make a choice rather than be called selfish by people. I feel if you are someone who believes in that I don't want to be called selfish, I don't want to be judged by people, probably this might not be the right place for you. Probably this book reading might not be the right thing for you. But if you are someone who believes that I really want to exercise my choice, let me see what happens. You know what will happen? The truth is, the people who will judge you, the people who will go out of your life, or people who will think that you are a bad person, they're anyway not your people. And the people who truly love you, who truly support you, who truly are a contribution to your life, they will still be there and they will love and respect you even more. So in chapter 3, Jack Canfield talks about decide what you want. Many of us started believing as we started growing up that we don't have a choice and what we want doesn't matter because we feel like we are one helpless person who is just thrown in this world and nothing is in your control. But the truth is, everything is under your control, everything is a choice, and your choices will determine what you create. So, once you have decided why you are here, you have to decide what you want to do, be, and have. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to experience? And what possessions do you want to acquire? In the journey from where you are to where you want to be, you have to decide where you want to be. In other words, what does success look like to you? One of the main reasons why people don't get what they want is they haven't decided what they want. They haven't defined their desires in clear and compelling detail. So early childhood programming often gets in the way of what you want. Inside of every one of us is that tiny seed, the you that you were meant to become. Unfortunately, you have buried this seed in response to your parents, your teachers, your coaches, and other adult role models as you were growing up. You started out as a baby knowing exactly what you wanted. You knew where you were hungry. You spit out foods you didn't like and avidly devoured the ones you did. You had no trouble expressing your needs and wants. You simply cried out loudly with no inhibitions or holding back until you got what you wanted. How beautiful is that? You had everything inside of you that you needed to get fed, changed, held, and rocked. As you got older, you crawled around and moved towards whatever held the most interest for you. You were clear about what you wanted and you headed straight towards it with no fear. So, what happened? Somewhere along the way, someone said, don't touch that, stay away from there, keep your hands off that, eat everything on your plate, whether you like it or not. You don't really feel that way, you don't really want that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Stop crying, don't be such a baby. As you got older, you heard you can't have everything you simply want because you want it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Can't you think of anybody but yourself? Stop being so selfish. Stop doing what you're doing and come to do what I want you to do. Don't live someone else's dreams. After many years of these kind of sanctions, most of us eventually lost touch with the needs of our bodies, with the desires of our hearts, and somehow got stuck trying to figure out what other people wanted us to do. We learned how to act, how to be to get their approval. As a result, we now do a lot of things we don't want to do, but that please a lot of other people. We go to medical school because dad wanted that for us. We get married to please our mother. We get a real job instead of pursuing our dream career in the arts. We go straight to graduate school instead of taking a year off and backpacking through Europe. In the name of being sensible, we end up becoming numb to our own desires. It's no wonder that when we ask many teenagers what they want to do or be, they honestly answer, I don't know. There are too many layers of shoulds, oughts, and you'd better piled up on top of suffocating what they really want. So, how do you reclaim yourself and your true desires? How do you get back to what you really want with no fear, shame, or inhibition? How do you reconnect with your real passion? You start on the smallest level by honoring your preferences in every situation, no matter how large or small. Don't think of them as petty. They might be inconsequential to someone else, but they are not you. So, this is exactly why we have stopped knowing what we truly want, and and this is the reason we stopped chasing our dreams. Because we want to be sensible and normal, we have numbed ourselves. We do not know who we are, what we want. The reason I liked this book, and this is one of the books I truly like, and overall I've always liked Jack Canfield's work because he talks a lot about going deeper into your life purpose. The previous chapter we spoke about it as well. But what is one of the main things which he speaks in this chapter is about knowing what do you want. And unless you truly know what do you want, how can you take steps to go there? I know many of you are watching this and it might not be making sense because you are so lost in the matrix of life that you have lost touch with yourself. You've lost touch with who you truly are. Oftentimes, when clients come for sessions with me and they say that, especially in the very first session, when they say that, I'm feeling stuck in life, and I ask them to describe themselves. They describe themselves as totally someone else who they are not. So I had one lady who walked into my office. She's a client, and she took 6, 8 sessions with me. The very first session, she said that I'm this self-centered woman. I'm too ambitious. I like to see things. I'm very logical. I'm very mechanical. I like to things. Over the 6, 8 sessions, we realized that she was none of that. She was a very highly intuitive, highly sensitive, a very kind person, and she said that I'm quite bossy and I'm very angry and I yell at people. And we slowly discovered that she was not that. She was really a truly kind and a sensitive, a very happy woman. She had great leadership qualities and she kept saying, I'm bossy, I'm bossy. And I actually asked her, are you bossy or do you have good leadership qualities? And she said, wow, I did not believe there was a huge difference. Another thing which the same client told me was, she said that I thought being kind is against, or being kind is the opposite of being powerful. And hence she kept saying that she's bossy, she's loud, she's aggressive. She was not. She was actually very kind. And I gave her examples of people across history who have been kind and who have still been powerful, who have been sensitive and loving, and they have used that as their strength. So after those 8 sessions, she said that, Ashwini, the first, and she had written in her notebook who she was. And by the end of 8 sessions, she said that, thank you for introducing me to me because I did not know who I was. And over a period of time, she realized that she was this beautiful, kind, loving, but very powerful leader. And she works in a corporate space. So she handles a team. And she said that, my work has improved. My subordinates are even, um, because many times when we are in a position of a boss, we feel that if we are kind, people will walk on our head and will be taken for granted. But she said that this overall process of knowing, being someone who is kind as well as strong, has changed everything in my office. The work environment has changed. My team is performing better. I have become more sensitive to their needs too. I can now be very, I can speak openly with my boss. I can draw boundaries when it comes to work. I can tell my boss that, okay, this is what we are doing and this is what my team can do. And she's been doing so good. Now, what actually happened is, during the course of those 8 weeks, we introduced her to who she actually is. And once she really understood who she actually was, she started using her strengths and weaknesses. Also, she started knowing what she really wants, because deep down, over the period of last, whatever, 15, 20 years or even more, in her working life, she had a certain set of rigidly formed patterns, which she thought she couldn't break, but these were subconscious patterns. But once she truly understood who she was and we did her inner work, she truly realized that this is what she is and she could use her strengths and weaknesses. So the first question I asked her, that what is it that you want? And she said that I have blanked out. Because initially she said, I want promotions, I want my teams to perform better, I want to have a better work-life balance. My children are now teenagers. I want to also make sure that I can pay attention to them and I can spend time, and everything was so much hopscotch. A lot of people say that everything was so hopscotch. And her husband used to travel, and there was so much chaos going on. And from that, she truly understood, once she understood what she wanted, because when she said all these things, and then she said, I truly don't know what I want. And the only answer we got her here was, if she truly knew what she wanted, everything would change, and it did change. The reason for going a little off track, or rather, not even off track, this was more like a case study on what do you want. And I just related her to, when I spoke to her about this principle about what you want, and things just started changing. So another thing is, settling for less than what you want. Okay, if you're going to re-own your power and get what you really want out of life, you'll have to stop saying, I don't know, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. Or current favorite of teenagers, whatever. When you're confronted with a choice, no matter how small or insignificant, act as if you have a preference. Ask yourself, if I did know what it would be, if I did care, which would be preferred, if it did matter, what would I rather do? Not being clear about what you want and making other people's needs and desires more important than your own, it's simply a habit. You can break it by practicing the opposite habit. Now, this is a beautiful example which Jack Canfield gives of the yellow notebook. So many years ago, he took a workshop with self-esteem motivational expert Sherry Carter Scott, author of If Life is a Game. These are the rules. And then he mentions that all the people who were the participants in that workshop, they entered the room and there were different chairs. And upon each of the chair, there was a notepad and a pen given. He sat on one of the chairs and he realized that there was a yellow notepad which he was given. And he was not fond of the color yellow. He hated yellow. And he himself thought that what if I could have got the blue? How many of us feel that? So I remember thinking, I hate yellow. I wish I had a blue one. Then Cherry said something that changed my life forever. If you don't like the color of the notebook you have, trade with someone else and get the one you want. You deserve to have everything in your life exactly the way you want. Wow, what a radical concept. For 20 years, I had not operated from that premise. I had settled thinking that I couldn't have everything I wanted. So I turned to the person to my right and said, would you mind trading your blue notebook for my yellow one? And she responded, not at all. I prefer yellow. I like the brightness of the color. It fits my mood. I now had my blue notebook, not a huge success in the greater scheme of things, but it was the beginning of reclaiming my birthright to acknowledge my preference and get exactly what I want. Up until then, I would have discounted my preference as petty. So, many times we say, oh, it's just a small thing. It's okay. That's something I don't like, but it's okay. I always say that. I always ask, can I have that one? And to some people, they say that, oh, you're so childish. It's okay to have what you got, right? Why are you creating so much fuss? That's what a lot of people would say. And then I would receive their judgments that, oh, Ashwini is so childish. She's so selfish. And she still, oh my God, even after all these years, she still says that I want the purple one and I don't want the pink one or the blue one. And isn't that amazing? If you're okay with people judging you, what do you value more? People judging you or what you want? Then Jack Canfield says that I would have continued to numb out my awareness of what I wanted. Most of us do not, it's not that we don't know what we want. We have numbed out the awareness of what we truly want and what we truly would like to have. That day was turning point for me, the beginning of allowing myself to know and act on my wants and desires as much more powerful way. Make an I want list. One of the easiest ways to clarify what you want is to make a list of 30 things you want, 30 things you want to have, and 30 things you want to do before you die. I feel this is a great exercise. And, we call this something like many people call it bucket list. But, many times we call it that, oh, it's a want, do, have list. And it's so much fun writing that. Is worrying about making a living stopping you? What stops people from expressing their true desires is they don't think they can make a living doing what they love to do. I know a lot of you are thinking that, what is this woman even talking? There are other important things in life. You have to make money, you have to make a living, you have responsibilities. I know I have a friend who, anytime I would call her for, oh, let's go and catch up for coffee. And she would say, Ash, I have responsibilities. And I would say, okay. And the next time again I called, she would like, Ash, you don't know, I have so many responsibilities. And after a point of time, I just stopped asking her because every time that would be the excuse. Well, we all have responsibilities. Life goes on around us. But if we truly do not spend life doing things we truly like, what are we living for? What I love to do is to hang out and talk with people, you might say. Well, Oprah Winfrey makes a living hanging out with talking with people. Now he's given examples of people who are doing what they love. Clarify your vision of your ideal life. The theme of this book is to how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And to accomplish this, you have to know two things: where you are and where you want to get to. Your vision is a detailed description of where you want to get to. It describes in detail what your destination looks like and feels like. To create a balanced and successful life, your vision needs to include the following 7 areas. This is a very big um, eye opener. Many people feel you can either have a good career or a good family life. Many people go into that, but I would say why you can't have both? Why is it that only one thing is necessary? And I often believe that, when I'm with family, I make 100% of that. And when I'm working, I make 100% of that. Isn't that beautiful? But most of us are so busy just running in life that we are not mindful about what we are doing. So the 7 areas are work and career, finances, recreation, recreation and free time, health and fitness, relationships, personal goals, and contribution to the larger community. At this stage in the journey, it's not necessary to know exactly how you're going to get there. All that is important that you figure out where there is. If you get clear on the what, the how will be taken care of. This is a very powerful line. If you get clear on the what, how will be taken care of. Your inner global positioning system, that is your inner GPS. The process of getting from where you are to where you want to be is using the navigation with GPS technology in the newer model car. So, success in life works in the same way like GPS in a modern car. All you have to do is decide where you want to go by clarifying your vision, lock in the destination through goal settings, affirmations, visualizations, and start moving in the right direction. Your inner GPS will keep unfolding your route as you continue to move forward. In other words, once you clarify and stay focused on your vision, the exact steps will appear on the way. Wow. Isn't that amazing? The next one, high achievers have bigger visions. I want to encourage you not to limit your vision in any way. Let it be as big as it is. So, Jack Canfield had interviewed Dave Lineker, the CEO of Remax, and he said that always dream big, big dreams attract big people. General Wesley Clark recently told me it doesn't take any more energy to create big dream than it takes to create a little one. So here he's given examples of people like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Bill Gates. These high achievers see the world from a whole new different perspective as a place where amazing things can happen, where billions of lives can be improved, where new technology can change the way we live, and where the world's resources can be leveraged for greater possible mutual gain. They believe anything is possible. They believe they have integral part in creating it. When Mark Victor Hansen and I is the author Jack Canfield, first published Chicken Soup for the Soul, what we call our 2020 vision, was a big one. To sell 1 billion chicken soup books and to raise 500 million for charity through tithing a portion of our profits by 2020. We were and are very clear about what we wanted to accomplish. Don't let anyone talk you out of your vision. There are people who will talk you out of your vision. It's very funny. I always tell this. When I quit my job and when I was trying to make things work, I was also going through some difficult times at that point of time because my father was operated and um, I was also acting as one of the caregivers for him. So at that point of time, I had this vision of becoming a coach, wanting to help people, and I had these huge dreams. But I hadn't told most of the people that I had quit my job, including my extended family, my um, I would say distant relatives, even friends. A lot of people who they thought they were my close friends, they had no idea about this. Apart from just a couple of people, hardly people knew that I had quit my job. It's almost a year and a half later that many people realize, and by the time I had started Unicorn Insight, so People said that, hey, wow, all of a sudden you sat. I said, oh, it didn't start all of a sudden. Almost for a year, I was working on that mission and I was taking steps. So why was I doing that? Because I said this thing to one of my friends. I told her that, I'm not telling this to everyone and keep it to yourself because people will put their fears in my head. And I know a lot of people have, because for me, the reason I walked on the path of self growth and spiritual learning and studying and all of this was because I had a lot of people who would make fun of me, who would walk me out of it, out of my dreams, who would tell me what was practical, what was not. And I also received a lot of criticism from so many people. So I hadn't told many people about it. I told people in 2016 that, okay, I'm doing something else. By the time I was already doing something. So there are people who will try to talk you out of your vision. They will tell you that you are crazy and that it can't be done. There will be those who will laugh at you and try to bring you down to their level. My friend Monty Roberts, the author of The Man Who Listens to Horses, calls these people dream stealers. Don't listen to them. When Monty was in high school, his teacher gave the class the assignment to write about what they wanted to do when they grew up. Monty wrote that he wanted to own his 200-acre ranch and raise thoroughbred race horses. His teacher gave him an F and explained the grade reflected his dream unrealistic. No boy was living that on the camper back. So when he offered Monty the chance of rewriting his paper for a higher grade, Monty told him, you keep the F, I'm keeping my dream. Today, Monty's 154-acre flag up farms in Solvang, California raises thoroughbred race horses and trains hundreds of horse trainers in more human way to join up and train with the horses. Isn't that beautiful? Had he given up on his dream, he wouldn't have contributing so much to the larger world. Now, there is this vision exercise which the author has given. I'm not going to walk you through it. Please go back to the book, and he speaks about all areas of life and he asks you to create this vision. It's a very beautiful exercise. Maybe spend some time doing it and share your vision for maximum impact. He says that when you finish writing down your vision, share your vision with a good friend whom you can trust and who is positive and supportive. Don't share it with the dream stealers. I hope you have one or two friends who can really be supportive. I always say that, these are, I call them my tribe people, my accountability partners, my soul family, my soul sisters, soul brothers, whom I can really trust. And we oftentimes share about our dreams and we talk about our visions. But, these are the people who are, who always support and who encourage and who, in fact, tell me to make my dreams even bigger. You will find that when you share your vision, some people will want to help you make it happen. Others will introduce you to friends and resources that can help you. You'll also find that each time you share your vision, it becomes clearer and feels more real and attainable. And most importantly, every time you share your vision, you strengthen your own subconscious beliefs that you can achieve it. Now, he also speaks here that you might be afraid that your friend will think your vision is too outlandish, impossible to achieve, too idealistic, unrealistic, or materialistic. Almost all people have these thoughts when they think of sharing their vision. But the truth is, most people deep down in their hearts want the same things that you want. Everyone wants financial abundance, comfortable home, meaningful work. They enjoy good health, time to do the things love, nurturing relationships with family and friends, an opportunity to make a difference to the world, but too few of us really admit it. In our vision board workshop, our participants, they generally talk about their dreams and we ask them to make it bigger. We ask them to make it twice bigger, three times bigger, 10 times bigger. And we ask them to talk as if it has already happened. How would you feel? And then they stick the pictures on the vision board. And we also do an exercise where we bring the vision board to life. It's a beautiful exercise and there is so much fun which we have in it. So that's the end of chapter 3. It's simply beautiful and I had an absolute great time reading it and also sharing about my personal experiences. For me, it's very important that I share my dreams with my very close knit circle. And we have this annual event where we share all of these things at Unicorn Insight with our teams too. We talk about it. This happened with me and the people whom I call my soul family, my tribe, our unicorn tribe, where one of my tribe members, she introduced me to many more people who eventually became a part of the team. And she knew about people's skills, who is best at what. And with that, we can work together and create a bigger vision. So talk about it to people who can help you, who can support you, and live your dreams. So I hope you all had fun reading chapter 4. We are reading Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. And I finished reading 3 chapters and I already feel enlightened. I already feel happy. So I always tell people there are so many people who write to me saying that I'm going through a very difficult time and I don't have money to come for your sessions. I don't have money to join your workshops. The truth is, you always have money, but are we willing to invest that in ourselves? I always say the people who invest in classes and workshops are willing to invest in themselves and willing to grow. Anyway, if you are someone who is not yet ready to invest money in workshops or in coaching sessions with me, I would say that attending these video calls or even watching these videos can make that shift in your life. So, watch us every week on the Unicorn Readers Club, or as we call it, the Read to Heal Club by Unicorn Inside. This is Dr. Ashwini Chube signing off. Thank you for watching. Do share your comments in the video as about what do you like about this video? What is it that, what point really connected you to this book reading? And what are some of the aha moments which you had? I would love to hear that from you. Until then, I'm sending you lots of good wishes, love, light, and magic. Thank you. Bye bye.